we know everybody's names. We've got Victoria, we've got Danny, we've got Larry, we've got Judith, we've got Loretta, John, Jojo, Gary, and Rob, and I'm Mikey. So let's just carry on. Do we want to carry on talking about role models? Do we want to switch it up? Do we want to change it? Go to one side?
Is there a particular state that celebrates the watermelon in America? Because I think in Turkmenistan, you say it was really celebrated, the melon.
Okay, the watermelon's big in Turkmenistan.
Well, maybe the melon. I'm not sure which melon. But it was also, you're only allowed to celebrate your birthday there every 12 years under the Sultanate. So
you're only allowed to
kind of bizarre, yeah.
Okay,
why 12 years?
We've only celebrated Independence Day once every 12 years as well, so that's kind of... Okay, is there a watermelon state?
The watermelon is associated with the American South. So I think in states like, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, they're very into watermelon, but I think the whole of the United States likes a good watermelon on 4th of July, so I'm really pleased to have one.
Okay. So again, where do we want to go with this conversation? I mean, I'll give us a final thought before you go.
Yes.
Sit down to give it.
Really like, I don't know, I prefer apples.
What's that?
I prefer apples to watermelon.
I've got apples in there as well.
Do you? No,
there's apples in there. All you need to do is ask, but sometimes...
Surely apples are more sort of Cupertino, aren't they? Sort of Northern California, where they make the computers.
I guess so. Okay, any other final thoughts apart from the apple preference?
Good, thanks, yeah.
Have you got a role model?
I don't know, role model. It's a good question, tough question. It's a collection of role models. Mostly it's like really...
So you kind of mix and match them together, different things from different people.
Yeah. Just thinking, because I always like... usually it's like if you see someone who is really strong, like I'm just super attracted to, like in terms of like I'm so really... So you want to see like, when you start watching, I don't know, for me it's mixture, but a lot of it is just people that are pushing themselves. I don't know, like people that actually don't make excuses for themselves, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay,
but it's a collection of people.
It's a whole collection of people. It's not just one person. Yeah. Okay, there was a point over here, Stacia. Is it still?
All right, this is a strange leap in the conversation, but from what you were saying, what I am remembering is at one point in my life, I was living in Los Angeles, which has a certain aesthetic. And I decided to go to graduate school in New England, which has a totally different way of life. And as part of my preparation for moving there, I decided that I should probably look at my wardrobe, not only because I had no cold weather clothes. So I read a book that was by some British people that I cannot remember their name, but it was really good, and it was about how to reinterpret your personal style and dress differently. And one of the things that they recommended is think about who is your role model in life and what are the qualities about that person that you really admire. And it didn't have to be about how they looked at all, but it was just, for me, it was things like being innovative and creative and being a leader, and then take those qualities and try to reflect them in how you are dressing.
Yeah, does that explain today's outfit?
I may have wandered off the path a bit.
Yeah.
But thank you. But I thought that was really good advice, and it was very unexpected, but it was a weird way to use role models in, a different context, a different part of life that you don't usually...
Did you find a particular person to...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's one of my mentors from undergrad. Yeah, and he's not known for his style or anything, but just his way of life and his vast intellect were very inspirational.
So it was a lecturer, effectively.
Professor, as we call them, yes.
Professor. Okay. All right. Where do we want to go with this?
I think a role model is what do you model yourself on? It's quite hard to as she said, having a single one, because in a way, if you model yourself on a single person, your ultimate aim is to become the clone. Whereas that is, I don't think anybody's aim really. So I feel there's different aspect of people, of what they do, of their personalities, of their traits, etc., that I am interested in, that I think I think I could do that. That's
Can
a really
you give
good
us one person that's made an influence?
Has
anyone influenced your look?
Has anybody influenced my look? Well, she has. Judith has, obviously, but it's like, I don't know, like my look in terms of like fashion, I don't really care too much about.
Yeah.
So I think
But
like,
that in itself is a thing. To say that you're a person who doesn't care about how you look is you're taking a position.
Yeah,
on, I have a friend who's a fashion psychologist, and I quite enjoy having conversations with her.
What is a fashion psychologist?
So a fashion psychologist is a person who studies the way in which people use clothes to represent themselves as human beings.
Right.
It's not about being stylish or wearing weird brand names or all that nonsense. It's just the choices that you make every morning represent what you want to present to the world about you as a character, as a human being. Do you want to be perceived as eccentric or fashionable, or a person who doesn't care about materialism, or all of the you might choose to buy certain clothes.
Because I want to find out, John, how did you bring your look together? What was your thinking?
I really have to laugh at this because I have a huge collection of completely ridiculous clothes, and I can't say that at any point I ever really wished to present an image for any particular purpose at all. Well, the hat is supposed to keep the wet off or keep the sun away, and I do vary between a dark hat on a dark day and a light white hat on a sunny one, and that's about as far as I'll go. I think I need to consult your friend.
Okay, well, I mean, this is what I'm interested in. Some people I can tell have thought a bit more about their look than others, but. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's about thinking about your look, because you have to think to yourself, how did you accumulate all of these clothes that you now have to choose from? Because now it's functional, but at some point you made a decision between buying that hat and not the other hat that do both have the same function, but you chose one hat off over the other, because we have 101 choices in England, in the Western world, don't we?
We're talking about
To answer. I need to respond to that. My wardrobe in actual fact is divided in two halves. There's a whole lot which has been given to me by people who think I should change my image, and that's actually quite nice. And the rest of it is bought by me or picked up on like round the corner. There's dumping for recycling or whatever.
There you go through those and see what you can find. Yeah.
Well, I look a bit like that. Maybe I do need to be recycled, and I'm very sorry for the friends who want to improve my image and give me nice things, because I don't match up to it.
I mean, do you subscribe to this idea that there is a psychology behind what you wear?
Indeed, and it's something, of course, which the fashion industry uses ruthlessly.
Yeah, and I just want to widen this out because it's interesting. Yeah.
I actually really like your top, John. It reminds me of when you were trying to tune in on an old TV and you got interference. So it's like sort of tuning in to something that's there but not quite sort of tangible. So I really love it.
It was a gift. It was a gift.
Okay, from a physicist maybe. Okay, so what do people think about this psychology of fashion? Do you subscribe to this idea that there's a psychology of fashion? Rob, you got something?
Well, I was just wondering if anyone that had tattoos could describe what they're about, because I feel like you can change each day what you wear, but if the barrier to like getting a tattoo for me is that how do you decide what you want to express in like 10 years?
Talk about
so there you go.
Okay, well, we go round to. What about tattoo? You've got a tattoo as well. Okay, you want to go? Okay, tell us about the tattoo. What's the psychology behind that?
For my mum and dad, really, who both passed away.
Right.
The cross is for my mum. My mum was more stern, you see.
Right.
So that's why I got the cross. Well.
Yeah.
That was my first one. I thought, well, I'll give it. But the leprechaun represents my dad.
Right.
He was more fun. But my mum was fun, but she was serious in life, so she gets the cross. But my dad's got the leprechaun.
I thought you were magical.
Well, I can be.
Okay. So is that something about you, or is it more about your parents?
My dad was Irish, and I like the Irish culture. And see, I don't like. No, the big tattoos, no thing. I just like simple. And then I've got the Patriot side, so half English, half Irish, and British. So the bulldog represents my fighting spirit. Yeah. And the boxing gloves when I used to
do a bit of sparring. Yeah.
I got tattoo, but I'm not showing you that. So.
What do you think about the
It's my 4 kids and my mom.
Right.
And me.
What do you think about the psychology of tattoos? What is it saying?
It's saying I got 2 flowers, my 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I got 1 heart for my mom.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
It's kind of about family connection.
Family connection.
Yeah.
I think tattoos are the marks that we want.
Right.
So we want the marks on us.
Yeah.
They're the ones what we chose, so we've got to live with it for our life.
Right.
Because sometimes we can get marks like scars. We never asked for them, but these are the scars we've asked for.
So it's like a kind of self-determined scar in a way.
It is, but it's every time you look at this, you go, "Oh, this reminds me. This is what I got for." It evokes a memory in your head. So whatever you chose, like. It's you how to express yourself.
Right, okay, so it's saying something about you that's totally permanent. Ash, I'm going to come back, so I want to spread this out. Any tattoos on this side, any thoughts on this side?
Tattoos at all. But I'm fascinated by the idea of being tattooed.
Yeah.
And have searched, and now I'm 58, and have searched all my life for the idea of what I would like to have tattooed on my body and where I would like to have
What's
it.
What's the front contender at the moment?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Still completely. I think I'm more in love with the idea of it than I am with the actuality of it.
So you'd like it, but you just haven't found that thing.
No, something that exactly that I'd want to have on my body for the rest of my life.
I mean, there's a point here.
If you're doing tattoo the way you're saying it, you think about what tattoo you're doing it. But some people they're doing tattoo wrong people and wrong place when they're drunk, and they regret it after that.
Yeah, so
if you're doing tattoo, think about.
Yeah.
If you not regretted it.
But maybe Jojo needs to get drunk to get over the hump to actually because.
I'm going to go somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's been sort of urban myths about people having sort of Chinese typography on their arms that actually means chicken fried rice or something like that. I don't know if it's true, but you can see somebody taking the piss and doing that, can't you?
Okay, so sometimes it is regretful, but I mean, I'm just wondering from what Jojo's like, never got over the hump, so maybe she does need a couple of drinks just to.
I do.
I mean, me personally, I don't have any tattoos. So one of my best friends from like long time ago, he has probably, I don't know, maybe 30 tattoos now, and some of them are quite large.
Yeah.
And for him, because a lot of people it's like, oh, it really means something and stuff, and he doesn't necessarily see tattoos as something super meaningful for the rest of his life, but it's more of like a snapshot of what he liked at that time, and that's fine with him. Like,
so
and of course, like if you have a single tattoo, then it should mean something because that's will stand out. But whereas if your body is full of tattoos, then the individual tattoo becomes less important and becomes more of an amalgamation of like interests,
it's almost
of
like
ideas,
a sort of photo album or a scrapbook.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks good.
Looks okay. Okay. So are we taking it a bit too seriously with that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what tattoo to get. Should we just like open up our?
You have to have the first one.
Yeah.
To start you off with the whole idea of it, to get you to get comfortable with the idea.
Yeah, start off with something small, and I'm going to come to the station then, Rob. Yeah.
I do not have any tattoos for the same reason as Jojo. I couldn't ever
get drunk enough.
Well, luckily I stayed away.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. No, I can't choose something that I would want for the rest of my life. But I have had people that have a lot of tattoos, such as like entire sleeves and all of their torso, tell me that they actually enjoy the sensation of being inked, and that's part of it. Which wouldn't occur to me because I understand that it would be painful. Yeah. that wouldn't attract me.
It's kind of painful, but nice somehow.
I think some people actually enjoy that. Yeah.
Okay. Robbie, what are you going to say?
I was just going to say, similar to what's your name? Lauren. I know somebody who's got their body is just covered in tattoos, and he lived in a squat, and him and his friends, they had a tattoo like machine needle type thing. And they would it was really casual in the sense that they would do them like there and then, like improvised on each other, like Wow. I mean,
they don't realise You have to have a tattoo, but you've got the rest of your life with it on you to look at. And because people change their mind like the weather. One day they're all, I'm all like this. It's like, I like EastEnders one day. The next day, oh no, I hate EastEnders. What have I done watching it? But they're left with that mark, like when you're in a relationship, you get your partner's
tattoos.
Well, I think they can do, like Peggy Mitchell on their arm. I feel. But no, well, I've actually seen someone get a McDonald's receipt.
Would you get a McDonald's tattoo if you're
Nah, I love it. I don't love it that much. See, but that's a gimmick. They only pay you once.
Well, it depends what contract. If you say $1,000 for the rest of every month for the rest of my life.
I mean, maybe this is branding is pretty much branding. There's more beer in there if you want that.
Some people they have somebody they look after and they're lucky. There is a movie star or singer or somebody, and they do it that tattoo.
Yeah. You think that's a good idea, or do you think it's?
I cannot say it's a good idea, but it's how you feeling, that person, how he's feeling. I'm feeling different things.
I guess it comes back to that question of role models, I suppose. If you see somebody as such a role model, that you would actually get them tattooed on the part of your body, or if you don't like them, maybe on a different part of your body. I don't know, but where are we going to go with this? Do we want to go back to the psychology of this? Do we want to go to the mark mating, to the branding, as Danny was talking about? Where do you want to go with this conversation?
I think it's like with tattoos, but if people are generally not opposed to tattoos as like, they can't stand it at all, but are a bit thinking about, should I get one, should I not get one? I guess it's like being afraid of permanence and the consequences of that. Because tattoos are permanent, you can get them lasered and stuff, but they're still going to be somehow there. You can get the tattooed over and stuff, but it's pretty much like a for life thing. And I think that's what people.
Fear of permanence.
Yeah, it's a fear of permanence and a fear of commitment. Will I still like that?
I mean, your person with the tattoos all over his body, is he?
But that's the thing for him.
Of permanence?
I don't think he's afraid of permanence, but for him also, he doesn't see tattoos as like a thing of like. A specific single tattoo has to have meaning, or has to have the same meaning for the rest of his life. He sees it as like a snapshot, which makes it a lot different. He can be like, that was like, I don't necessarily like that anymore.
It's more like a Facebook post or something like that.
Well, a bit more than that, but it's still like, and of course, I mean, there are, people who get tattoos and who change their life and they're really regretting them, like of, super right-wing tattoos, etc., stuff like this, which obviously that's a bit of a different. But if you are taking something, he has like a piratey woman on pretty much most of his back. He has like a lion head there. He has like a scorpion on this hand. He has like literally everywhere, and it's nothing that he will, I guess, like regret. And why have I ever done that? Because his attitude towards is not one of permanent meaning.
Okay, so he's not that bothered about it. Let me just come to Asha.
I don't want tattoo. I'm not regretting to take that tattoo. It's my husband.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that when we get divorced, I want to get out this tattoo. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
To remind me him. But lucky I didn't have money to take it out that tattoo, and then I was thinking about the pain I'm going through.
Yeah.
But he passed away 1 year ago.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky I didn't take out that tattoo.
Yeah.
His name, and it's only his dad, my kid's dad.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it that time when we get divorced. I want to get out of flavor for both. But the pain, I was thinking that if I go through the pain, I can take off the tattoo. So a lot of the money cost me. It never happened in it.
Yeah.
But when he passed away, I was saying to myself, I am good now. I didn't take out that tattoo.
So you sort of regretted it, but now you don't regret it. Now you think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's worthwhile. So time changes the understanding of these things, and you can go backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also tattoos changing in general. Like, it might be like a 20-year-old that gets like, a little tiny ivy leaf on the side of your belly or something. And then you might go through pregnancy, you get older, etc. Your body changes. People also don't necessarily like tattoos fade over time a bit. And so some people don't think about that as well, how their body changes and where things are tattooed and so on.
And I guess the meaning of things change as well, don't they? Like some.
You get a tiger tattoo on your belly, and then when you're 50 years old, it turns into the Cheshire Cat. Like it's grinning. It's just, it was a tiger, and now it's just smiling at you.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from there. So I guess it's kind of about how time changes things, but tattoos can actually mark that change as well as kind of change their meaning, just from the rest of the world as well, I suppose as well. Where do we want to go with this conversation? I mean, I feel like all the people with tattoos are all leaving, or with friends with tattoos.
What's going on?
So maybe we should need to come up with a more compelling discussion. That you're the only one left with tattoos on the table. What's that?
Something else positive.
Something but tattoos are positive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but it's not a lot of people believe in tattoo.
I mean, what positive thing would you come up with then, Asha?
Happy, love and peace.
Love and peace.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is in the way? What's standing in the way? I mean, I don't know. The people that come around my Talkaoke table are generally loving people and peaceful people and people that want to promote that. So they're the people I meet. I don't know if it's everybody.
But when you see peace now, these days, it's everywhere you see it. You wake up bad news and you sleep in bad news and wake up bad news.
Yeah.
Why are you seeing that?
I think it's stranger pretense. They always put up the love and peace thingy. But people think I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I can turn on a hat pin.
Really? I thought you were a nice guy.
Well.
Yeah.
That's what you think it is.
Well, yeah, no. Well, how do you think I lose these teeth? But but no, but it's a pursuit because we don't know everyone here. We have to promote the good side.
Yeah, but I mean, what is standing in the way of the love and peace and all of that stuff?
People.
Yeah, see, I'm a people's person, but I'm not a people's person.
Yeah. So you think there's an unpeaceful side to you as well? Okay, we're talking about love and peace. What's standing in the way of peace? Is that what people want? Do you want love and peace? Yeah, so what's standing in the way? Everyone wants love and peace. What's the deal? Why is it? What's standing in the way of love and peace? Come and get involved in this. We got John, we got Stacey, we got Jojo, we got Rob, we got Asher, we got Danny, and I'm Mikey. This side, anything? What's standing in the way of love and peace? Anything at all? Or is it just like?
It's the sad place we're in now.
Is it the sad place we're in?
Sad place we're in.
Yeah.
You could be positive person, but something is happening everywhere in the world.
Okay, so there's a lot of negativity that's going to slap you down if you're positive. We're talking about love and peace. People around the table, including those just waiting for their takeaways, are in favour of love and peace. Everyone is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there anything stopping us from just... I mean, maybe we've got love and peace already. I don't know.
No.
I kind of feel loving and peaceful. I mean, but as I was saying, the people that come to my table tend to be love and peace kind of people. So I understand what the problem is. Why?
I'm love and peace, but I do push me buttons and I do turn. It's it's human nature, and actually, I can be. I can get not nasty. It's just if someone thinks bang, it's a switch, and I can.
Well, I mean, if someone sort of has a dig at you or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. See, I'm always my motto in life has always been nice. If I'm nice to you, if you're nice to me, I'll be even nicer back or better back. And that. But as soon as someone,
that's a skill, I suppose, isn't it?
It is a skill. It's a skill. It's called bartering. Like
you have to
give and take, and But it's as I said, like. See, most people round here, like on this table, we're all nice and that, but we can have ups and downs. So as we're sitting here, we in the street, we probably wouldn't even say hello to each other because we'd just be that busy walking.
You would.
I do.
See, I would as well.
Yeah.
Next time I see you, Danny, I expect a hello.
I think you'll get it.
Yeah, so just say hello.
I'm going to say it really loud.
Yeah.
And I
You've got to
expect
jump
a
in front
hello.
of him. Okay, so we're talking about love and peace. Are we all love and peace people around the table? Do we actually have it anyway, and we just live in a world of love and peace? Do we? Yeah.
I think it's the aspiration, but personally, I never have enough.
Yeah.
For peace, maybe, but I want more. I want more love, always.
Okay.
I'm all about love and peace, but I want more love.
You always want more. You can always have more.
I never have enough.
You can never have enough love and peace. That's a good way of putting it. We're talking about love and peace. Danny, let me open this up to this side of the table because I feel like I've ignored this side. Love and peace. And guys, have you got anything final to say about love and peace on your way out? No? They can't? Okay. They're off. Love and peace on this side?
I think we're in a communal species, so I think that the good news is that we'll always, on some level, gravitate toward having to cooperate with each other. But I think that we get in our own way through fear and insecurity a lot of the time.
Okay, so it comes back to that question.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to feel safe. And Loretta was talking earlier about attachment styles in children, and sometimes people feel so compelled to protect themselves that they'll do something that is unharmonizing or that attacks someone that hasn't done anything to them, or they're very, very defensive or fortified, but they're just trying to feel safe, I think.
Okay, love them. I'm not going to, I've got Asher over here, I'm not going to force people on this one.
We all want something on the life.
Yeah.
But what you don't have to, you don't have to. You don't have to, because that doesn't mean that things you should be have to. But it can make you sad, it can make you laugh.
Yeah.
Like somebody want a kids. I got 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. I give my life. But when I see people saying, oh, I cannot have kids, why can't I have this, I cannot have this. I said, what you want? Heart attack or headache? Kids that bring you down.
Yeah, you just, sorry, I'm going to turn down the mic a little bit.
You're thinking of saying it?
Yeah.
It's not meant to be happy there. You say we should have this. You wake up tomorrow morning, yeah? You say, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. If not meant to be, you cannot do all that things. If 10 minutes we can just drop, die.
Okay.
You need accepted life, but it's hard. When you don't have it, you're chasing that thing is that chase, and you say, I don't have this, I don't have this. But I have this. It's making me.
So it's about, in a way, what you have and what you haven't got, appreciating what you've got, I suppose. Jojo?
I think that love and peace works perfectly on a small scale between people that live on the same street or in the same building. The problem is once you scale things up, then the opportunity for misunderstanding one another gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the gulf between people is exacerbated by politics and corporations.
Okay, so it's a problem of scale in a way.
Yeah, I guess maybe our world is in large part structured around competition, and so that creates that kind of conflicts. I think, in you can think about it on that level.
So it's about just the wider, bigger world. I'll come back to this side again. Was there?
Yeah, but I think it's also, I mean, of course, like the size might be an issue, but it also, like, in terms of like the connectiveness and with the internet, you are able to find other people more easily that might love the same things that you do. So it's like, it's kind of.
I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
I've got someone coming.
Okay, quick final thought.
Love one another. Donate.
Love and peace. Okay, so where do we go from here? Yeah.
I was waving goodbye.
Oh, you're just waving goodbye. Okay. Peace. Okay, so is it an economy of scale, the peace thing? Is it just that on bigger scales we can't do it because other things come into play?
It just depends on it's tricky because I guess, I don't know, when you're in different regions of different countries, then I don't know, the construct of love or the construct of peace is slightly different, isn't it? And I guess in Western society it's a bit tricky because it's very capitalist and as you were talking about, it's very competitive and I don't know, it just depends on how you define like love or peace.
Well, I mean, I guess we've only. Well, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I've grown up in the same country my whole life, so maybe we can ask those who have come from a different country, and there are a few around the table. Is there a different concept of love?
But then I don't even think you have to come from like a different country because I guess you can kind of shut your door in your family home and you guys have your own ethnic construction of like different things that, and then you go to school and then there's a different construction of those things, and then you go to work and there's a different construction of those things as well. So it's a bit, I don't know, just, it's all...
I mean, well, maybe we need to talk about it, but look, Asha...
I agree what she's saying. We come from different country, different culture, different things. It's what you have here.
Yeah.
We don't have, but where I come from, we don't have a lot.
Yeah, where's that?
In Somalia.
Yeah, Somalia,
Yeah, it's the little thing you have. I wasn't poor. I won't say I was poor, I was rich. I never that.
Yeah.
But little thing you have, you appreciate it. But when I see my kids are giving everything they want and everything they ask it, they're not appreciating it.
But does that change the concept of love, do you think?
No, it's not because I love my kids, they're my kids.
Yeah.
I come from different life.
Yeah.
They have this life.
Yeah. But
it's not changing the concept, but what sometimes I say, you're ungrateful child.
Okay, so it's a more...
Some people don't have it, even drinking clean water, and you complaining, I don't want to eat this, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why?
Yeah.
Why you got this and why they don't got that?
Yeah, so it's kind of, that's about gratitude, which I suppose connects. Is there a different concept of love or peace in other countries?
I think under the umbrella of love, we put several feelings that we
So love is an umbrella.
Love is an umbrella, and we can make a song about it, but we're not singing Talkaoke. One of the main principles.
Yeah. Well, we can come up with the lyrics and make a song about it later, for sure.
I think you can mistake, I don't know, you can take desire and think it's love, you can take attachment or dependence and call it love, you can...
But that's romantic love though, that's
No, you can need someone and call it love, like need... not in a romantic way, like in Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
That you think you love your
captor.
Your captor. So under the name of love, there's so many different things.
I mean, is any of it like true love?
They're all true love.
They're all true love. Okay.
But what is that, Mikey?
I don't know. I don't have to answer it because I'm in the middle. I don't give my
because
opinions.
I'll go back to
You're in
what...
the centre of it all. You should know the answers.
Because I'll go back to like what Ash is saying.
Yeah.
And I had a really profound moment many years ago when I was talking to a parent that I was working with.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand why she wasn't as concerned about a child who had all this emotional stuff going on, and she was just talking about her experience of being from a certain region of Bangladesh, and the narrative, like the story she held about being a good parent was different to the story you hold about being a good parent in a Western society with a bit more money and blah blah blah, where the aspiration is to make sure that a child can go to school every day and has food and water and X, Y, and Z, and that was how you communicated love so that's the construct of love to your child. So that there's it's a bit difficult when and I was asking if that was romantic love, because then that's a good way of defining that for our sort of terms for people who live in the Western world, whatever. But love, like when we say that word and we describe it actually, and I'm sure Rob is having a great time listening to me doing all of this fun thesis nonsense, but it's true. But the construction of love, like we're just talking about it like it's a thing that we all agree upon at the table, but everybody's got such a wonderfully different I just think it's interesting.
Okay, we're talking about love here, and what is the nature of love? Is love an umbrella, as Agat said? And what's under that umbrella?
Love is unconditional. It's love. I believe in life. It's when two people love each other, 50-50.
Yeah.
Some people love.
But what about the kids? Do they love you as much as you love them?
The kids, my kids, I can say they're fucking selfish. Maybe they love their own way, but they're not. I love my parents with unconditional. Unconditional, because I don't have what my kids have. But I can say my kids, they love me, but it's a different love now these days.
Yeah. Okay.
Me.
Okay, so it's a kind of self-love. So once again, the concept of love is changing.
I just want... I'm listening to all this because I've spent an awful long time in my life asking a question that was very well asked by the poet W.H. Auden, who wrote a lengthy poem called Tell Me the Truth About Love.
Yeah.
I do recommend it. If anybody wants a copy of this poem, I'm not going to quote it because it's quite long. Yeah. But of course, all the questions that he asks about love are the questions that adults can never possibly answer. And it's quite ridiculous, and it's very, very healthy. So there you are. Tell Me the Truth About Love by W.H. Auden.
Okay.
But I'm also reminded, really, because I'm sitting here thinking, what are we actually talking about? And it reminds me of way back, I think, in the 1960s, on television, a takeoff. There's a Shakespearean play in which there is a line, "What is this thing called love?" Very romantic, very deep questioning. But on television in the 1960s, A Group changed that round and it came out as, "What is this thing called love?" And caused a lot of laughter. But it's a fair question. I think that other languages are more sensible in that I know of one or two that have a whole string of words used for love. We hear romantic love. Well, is it romantic?
Or is it just divided?
Is it lustful?
Yeah.
Is this love anyway? That's a built-in feature of the animal nature that we are.
So we don't have enough words.
No, so I think we don't have enough words. We're not very clever at the dialogue. I like W.H. Auden because he takes the piss. Excuse the word, but we have no other word for taking the piss.
Yeah.
And the spoof on what is this thing called love, I think was very genuine, and I saw it and I laughed. There you go.
Okay. So you're still not sure right now.
Haven't got a clue.
Okay, Rob.
Final thoughts. I'm going to
Final thought. Tell us what is love, and then you can go.
I don't know. I'm going to check out that poem. I just think, love is something we're all very mixed up in, but we don't really understand it. So it feels like it's sort of fundamental to who we are. And
so you know it when it's
and
there.
And what we desire, but you don't really. It also sort of it's always going to be very painful at the same time, because I think you never really understand or get what you desire. Yeah. Okay. So it's a bit of a tragic condition.
There's a bit of tragedy going on with love. There's a bit of a tragic element. Maybe, hang on, Lauren.
I think it's like in a way it's like a lifelong quest to find out, and it's like like a word that's very much in flux. Like it always changes. You know, when you're a child, what you love might be ice cream, and then at some point you like kind of it's maybe I like ice cream, but I don't love it, and it's like it like constantly evolves. I think, and it's like absolutely. It evolves with age, it evolves with like experiences and so on. And I think it's like a lifelong quest to find the definition of it, and it might be very different for everybody.
Okay, well it'll keep me in business for a long time, I suppose. Jojo, were you going to say something?
No, I was just thinking that when we first started talking about this, and we were talking about is there enough peace and love in the world, I think we were kind of broadly in agreement of what love meant in that context. And it just meant accepting each other, living in relative harmony, and having some sort of finding the things that we have in common so that we can get along with one another and go forward. And I think that the idea of love being chopped up into lust or desire for things or dependency or those sorts of things, that's something not really what we were talking about in the first place. But I obviously I'm completely open to the idea of exploring all of that. But
maybe start off with that first thing start off with this acceptance of people.
Just being able to get along with people basically, and being able to accept other people as they are and present yourself as you are and hope to be accepted.
John?
Having been a bit cheeky about it, I ought to put in perhaps a slightly more serious point. There is a Turkish lady, an author, her name is Elif Shafak, and she said something which I thought was very delightful. She's an expat Turk, lives in, I think, Germany or London, one of the two. And when asked a question about how she had made an adaptation to different societies and what she thought about this world, that world, the other world, she said, "I have nothing whatsoever to learn from people just like me." Nothing. And I thought, wow, that is really good. If we're looking for something which is realistic about love, it is to love the idea that you haven't got a bloody clue about how other people live. That would be a very good start. And Elif Shafak has that quality, and that's why she can be a good writer, because she really looks asking questions. And that actually comes right round to our discussion about education earlier, because I think the whole point about education is to bring up young people to learn to ask the right question, not to give the right answer. If you ask the right question, you'll be the top of the tree, because you can find yourself or a group to bring the answers. But it's asking the question. That's what counts. There you go.
And I think there's asking the right question, but is also be ready to hear the answer.
Absolutely.
And be outside of your comfort zone. And that's the asking the right question is a skill that well, everything is a skill you can learn. But I think, yeah, for me, it's being ready to accept the answer and be ready to question yourself, but also to put yourself in a position where it's not comfortable. And it's difficult sometimes.
Were you going to say something, Judith, or were you just nodding in agreement?
I'm just nodding in lots of agreement. I feel like we went across through people, and I agreed with a lot of points that were made. That's a lot. There's a lot of nodding at the.
I think in terms of what you, John, were talking about, like the whole like exposure thing, that we can't really learn anything from people that are basically like our own clones in that way, and it's so true, because I grew up in Germany pretty much with like my own copies, still very different people, but very much like in the same kind of like, you know, socio-economical background, etc., etc. And then I came, well, first went to Scotland and stuff, but like London for me is like this beautiful melting pot of so many different people where you can learn so much from. And I think I don't love living in London because it's a big city. That's, I think, more of a stressful factor to me. But like the people that are in it, that's the beauty of it, and that's the proper wealth that London can offer, I think.
This diversity of people, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. My experience of living in London and falling in love with it is definitely based upon it being so cosmopolitan. It's such a crossroads in the world where you can encounter so many different types of people, whether they're British or foreign or whatever they are, and so many different socioeconomic backgrounds of people that are actually mixing, which you don't get in a lot of other cities, especially in the States.
Do you learn from those people?
Definitely. And to go back to what John was saying, as a writer, I've definitely noticed that the English language has a dearth of words to actually describe love in great variety, and it is a very noticeable lack, because English language is wonderful for writers. It has so many adjectives and adverbs, and it's so absorbent. It's taken in parts of other languages over the years, but in love, it's like we are very reliant upon foreign words. And I think that, you know, one of the strengths of London, and maybe the strengths of modern Britain, is being absorbent in that way, not only linguistically, but being open to these ideas and admitting, you know, maybe our culture is strong in these ways, but maybe we need some influence in these other ways, and let's be open to that.
So what we're talking about love at the moment. Come and get involved in the. We're talking about love. Are there enough words to describe love?
Deceit. Deceit?
Deceit.
Oh dear. Come on, pull up a chair. Look at you. Get in your chair.
Yeah.
I'd love it so much.
Okay,
come on, look, Mikey, look, he's ready.
No, come and get involved. Come to the don't sit in the cheap seats. Come. So we've got Lauren, we've got Judith, we've got Agat, we've got John, we've got Stacia and Jojo and Mikey. What's your name?
PFC.
PFC. Okay. At the moment we're talking about love, and basically, and about other people that we actually look.
Once before.
What's that?
I felt that once before.
You felt the love?
Yeah, I knew what that was.
Yeah? Are you not so sure now?
It's alright.
But I mean, that's the thing, is that we learn more about love from those that are different from us. That's what people around the table are saying.
No more.
You don't think so?
There's no love.
You think love has gone?
It's gone.
Yeah.
I would love to hear.
It's 2019.
Yeah.
It's every man for themselves.
Do you think the love element has disappeared? Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it is. What do you think the news is? A bird got stabbed the other day and a kid died.
Yeah.
Yeah? An unborn child.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the love in that?
Yeah.
So
Well,
where's the love in the government and supporting that?
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
They're too worried about kids stabbing each other. What about girls that get raped now? What, geezers getting probation?
So, I mean, what's the answer to it? How can we bring the love back, or is it just?
There's no love.
Is it just finished?
There's no love. There's too much politics.
Okay.
There's not enough humanity. How about that?
Okay, I mean,
Humanity don't respect each other no more.
what do people think about PFC's comment? Oh, we've got some new faces.
Hey, what do people think about PFCs? It ain't a vegan option, is it?
No, you can get a veggie burger from there, which is vegan. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. We have got Jojo, we got PFC, we got Stacia, we have got John. What's your name?
Parul and I like to talk, but not at the moment.
Yeah. What's your name again?
Parul.
Parul and Agat and Judith and Lauren. And I'm Mikey. What's your name?
D.
And come and have a seat. Tell us your name.
Oh, hey, I'm Nick.
Nick. Come and have a seat. Don't be shy. Don't worry. This has been electrically tested. We've even got beers for you if you want, and watermelon. Although someone's going to have to get the knives out. You can bring your own beer, that's fine. Remember, we're talking about love. You join us at a really crucial moment when we're talking about love. And I'll tell you how it's gone down. It's like Asha, a lot of you will know. Yeah.
The absence of love.
Yeah, the absence of love in this case.
For real. But when you can't respect each other, you can't love each other.
Okay, so does respect come before love?
There's no respect nowadays.
So come closer, come in. Anyway, let me just we'll just sit behind it, then you will just see your baseball cap. Yeah.
You're like against the.
Yeah. Anyway, let me just sum up where we've come from. So basically, Asha said, what about peace and love? Why is there? I'm not going to choose to ignore that. Why is there no peace and love in the world, or how do we have more peace and love? Then we said, well, actually, everyone actually wants peace and love. And then it was like, well, love is so many different things, and it's defined by culture, it's defined by your time in your life, and we still don't know what love is. And then, where do we go from there? Then? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 48, and I've just.
You know what love is?
I absolutely do, because I'm wearing this fantastic bracelet, and I live in the only nation in the United Kingdom where same-sex love is still illegal.
So where is that?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
So Northern Ireland, love is love.
Yeah. Yeah. Come and join in, get closer.
And Southern Ireland has the only half Indian, half gay, actually full gay, half Indian premier.
Yeah. Okay, so that's got a gay, what's it called?
Leo Varadkar. Taoiseach.
A Taoiseach, yeah.
Taoiseach.
So what you're saying that
love is love.
Love can.
Is your microphone not working?
Is it? Can I turn it down to eat some cream? Is it?
So the point I'm making is love is love.
Yeah.
Irrespective of creed or nationality or sexuality or skin colour or preference, whether you're top, bottom.
Yeah. But I mean,
can I just say, when it comes to love, I'm top versatile. For those who might be offering, but around the table, actually, quite frankly, I mean, you're not my type, but that's okay. Anyway, over to you.
Well, my question is: does legislation actually affect the question of love? Does it actually? Is the love still there? Or, because you're talking about love being effectively illegal, but does that change the level of love? Does that actually affect love?
That's like a really tricky question to ask people who are not impacted by legislation in regard to marriage and things like that. You can't. Absolutely.
Respect comes first, then love. But are the
100%.
But I mean, was it Parul? Say is Parul being respected in Northern Ireland, where
I'm sure I'm being respected. I just think that the love that I have for whoever comes along, and it tends actually to be men.
Yeah.
I think that love is just not recognised or acknowledged. It's not about legislation. It's about
recognising and celebrating the love.
Basic human rights.
Okay.
Okay, and might I just make a very salient point, which is parts of East and West Africa and in India, people are still being stoned to death for the type of love that they have. Isn't that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's bring in some people on this side of the table. Any thoughts on this side?
The building.
My thoughts okay. I mean, have you ever? I mean, like Judith made the point. Maybe I don't know if anyone around the table has ever been in that. Maybe it's just like you that's had that experience of like facing the law, not having your love respected. So it's kind of a thing. I don't know. Has anyone else not had that?
Is that defence you're talking about? So someone's getting defensive about themselves, or is it an insecurity?
It's whatever you want it to be. I mean, have you ever not had your love respected?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a breakup.
Okay. I mean, is that the same in a way? Is it? I don't know. I mean, is it like?
Well, if one's feelings are stronger for someone else, then they're in respect. Then yes, I guess.
Okay. Has anyone else not had their love respected? Yeah.
What about not loving yourself? We should really love ourselves a bit more. And actually, if we loved ourselves a bit more, maybe we can actually take that even further and say, yeah, we are great. We are worth it, and we can do anything. And then we can do anything. So I think that's a lot of that is holding us back.
The first step is just love yourself, basically, and then maybe that gives that.
If you look after yourself, then you can look after others. I guess.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, once you look after yourself, then that makes you better at looking after others, better maybe at respecting other people's love.
Okay, I'd just like to second what Natasha said, which is absolutely, you do need to love yourself, but there is a fine line between love that comes from within and a love that Narcissus had, which can be a little bit unhealthy.
You can overdo it.
You can absolutely overdo it. So loving yourself, that is a basic priority. That love comes from within, but when you are over loving yourself in a very vain, narcissistic way, that could be counterproductive.
Is it just a simple excess, or is it a misguided sort of?
I think it's just narcissistic people are just greedy.
Yeah, so it's about a greed in
Absolutely.
a way. Okay, so we're talking about self-love now, and sometimes it's good, but sometimes it can lead to narcissism. When people get greedy. I'm going to come to you, Stacia.
I think people that are actually narcissistic are very, very low in self-esteem. And then, ironically, what they present is the opposite, because they're just so fearful of having any sort of infringement, because they can't handle a criticism. They believe it too fiercely themselves. So they try to build it up.
So you think those people don't really? I mean, I don't know if
I
think of a narcissistic
think at their core they are very, very insecure. Yeah.
Okay, so is a narcissism actually loving yourself too much, or is it just simply not loving yourself enough in a very core kind of way?
Surely narcissism is kind of a disrespect or disregard for others. So.
Okay, but what about yourself? Is it a disregard for yourself as well?
No, I agree with you, Stacia.
Yeah.
And, I know someone who is very narcissistic.
Yeah.
And it's probably the person I know that loves himself the least. It's trying to prove to others that he's worth it.
Yeah.
But like deep inside, he really doesn't
believe it himself.
Yeah, and that's why he needs to have the people's approbation to convince himself.
I mean,
but it's not love. It's for me, narcissism is not loving yourself. It's just insecurity, or the same way we all have.
I mean, it comes back to what you were saying, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, because from a woman's point of view, you're always kind of told you're not good enough. You're the second sex. You're weaker. You're not fat enough. You're not thin enough. You haven't got big enough boobs. All the rest of it. You're just bombarded with this stuff every single day. You're not clever enough, and all of this leads us to go, well, it leads us to us feeling like you can't really love yourself, and then that becomes a harder thing to do. But then
where is this coming from, all this negative messaging?
There's a lot from the media, a lot from advertising, a lot from selling products from the beautiful people to the normal people. We constructed it ourselves, actually.
So there's all this negative messaging. It's hard to love yourself within all of these expectations. Is that just Is that just women, or is it men as well are feeling that?
Men are feeling it more so. Like you see all the adverts now for like people with like shaving their chests and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's like we can't just deal with ourselves as normal human people the way we're meant to be.
Okay.
It's like we're never satisfied.
Okay. Is there a point there, Nick?
Oh, I don't know actually. I'm just thinking about that one.
Okay. So yeah.
I think it goes back to what John was saying much earlier in the evening about the society that is really geared towards pushing you to be the best, and the individualism that is linked to it. Like as a parent, we were talking about it in the context of parents to kids, that you have to be the best, you have to be the best, you have to excel at school, and this is exactly creating what you. Sorry, I can't remember your name. Natasha. It's exactly what you talking about. You have to excel everywhere. So you're always going to be disappointed.
So it's about this necessity to excel, and that's where
is that not just being brought up with a competitive mentality? But
I think that's what Agat is saying. It's exactly that. It's about that competitive mentality that pervades in our world.
It's also actually managing our own expectations. We're not 100% perfect, and neither is everyone else. And actually, it's impossible to be perfect. And just accepting that, and then moving on from it. And then once you've got that as a strong grounding, then
when does the love come in? Does it come in directly after that? When you acknowledge that you're not.
I would say that love would come into love would be an understanding and a communication with someone. So that would help oneself build a relationship or a communication.
So it's a kind of acceptance of like kind of warts and all. John?
Yeah, I think we need to be quite clear about this idea of self-love. Self-love is about 129% self-criticism than self-approval. If you examine yourself in what I call the truth mirror, and recognise that some bits are okay and some bits are not, then, so long as you're not too depressed about what you see, you may realise that there are other people in the world who can match that and say, well, for your defects, I have some strengths, but I quite like your strengths because they cover my defects.
Okay.
But I would like it to be thought of as being a self-critical, self-appraisal process. That somebody made a comment about where, I think it was yours, where do our notions about love now come from? And of course, if you contract out your understanding of love of yourself to some other enterprise sponsored by a Tory government or sponsored by your friends or by media in general, then you're frankly in a hell of a mess because you're not going to find very much that's most useful. And I just say that from being old. I'm still working on the self-critical bit.
Yeah,
with the hope that I might be able to find a few bits which are actually quite nice.
Okay, I'm sure we could all find some bits that are nice. So we took. John is saying that self-love is also self-criticism. We've got a new face at the table. What's your name? Darren. We got Lauren. We got Judith. We got Agat. We got Peru, and we got John. We got Stacia, Jojo, Dee, and Nick, and Natasha. I'm Mikey. And we're sort of talking about love, and it's gone on to this thing like if you don't love yourself, where do you go from there? Do you know what I mean?
It's about love. Love is made like to happen at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There'll be no love like anywhere. Say for example, there's one day where nobody around the world loves each other.
Yeah.
There's gonna be hate, envy, jealousy.
Do you think we're going in that direction? Are we losing love or are we gaining love?
Both. It's a bit of both. It depends on how you're guided.
Yeah.
That's it really.
And what about this question about self-love, that you have to love yourself?
Self-love is about loving yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, loving everything. Like example, like the one person gave me Coca-Cola, I love this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I love Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So it's a positive vibe.
You know? Yeah, it's a positive.
Yeah.
And love is about being positive about everything.
Okay.
Even when it's even if you have days where you're negative.
I mean, I guess John is talking about this self-critical thing where you're.
That's your own insecurities and insecurities taking over.
Yeah, but can you be positive about your flaws? Can you be positive about the things that you don't like about yourself?
Flaws is about how you wake up and how you think of yourself, like when it comes to like your body, your face, your weight, your life, what you do, how you dress. At the end of the day, like everyone in society judges each other. It's not right.
Okay, let me just come to Agathe.
No, you can go to Laurie next.
Okay.
I think what John was talking about, like in love, is like a big portion is also honesty, and it doesn't really matter if it's love that somebody else gives you, or that you give to somebody else, or that you give to yourself. I think honesty is very important, because it's okay to, like, it doesn't matter if you look in the mirror and there's some physical thing on your body that you don't love, and that way, that's okay. Like, you don't have to love every single aspect. It's okay to just be fine with things and not necessarily, because I feel like if I'm like, if I'm like, I'm in love with everything, it's like, nah, that sounds not right. Like, it's just like, who really is, and that, but like, not like there's like a middle ground between love and hate. It's just like, it's fine to be just okay with things. And I think that's what a lot of people like, don't get in a way, like to just there's acceptance as well.
Okay.
I think a lot of times, especially in modern times with social media and some and the bullies that are online, what you get is to be made so uncomfortable and so unhappy about how you are. But there's a way to fix it. Then you can fix it by buying this, or by having surgery, or by exactly. So I think it's the whole thing, which goes back to love in general. I think that they just trying to make you feel as unhappy as possible, so that you can fix it by spending money somewhere, somehow, or altering yourself. Go and have therapy, which is another form of altering yourself. I don't know. It just
how do you step out of that then, and step out of that cycle?
I think go off grid.
Go off grid. Just abandon the social media world. Just abandon all this stuff. I mean, do we all feel like we're getting sucked? I don't know if that's you or if you think it's other people. Do we all feel like we're getting sucked into that kind of, like, you do?
Yeah, actually, it's an example. I want to share something a bit personal. Which sits on what you've said before. It's I took quite a drastic decision in my life, because I noticed that there's something, an anxiety that I had, that I wanted to solve, that I wanted to be a better person. And it made me, I really went out of my comfort zone to get back to this point. And I think it's great. I'm really happy I did it. But in a way, when I realized after why I did it, I did all this just to be a better person. Like, it's...
What was the anxiety?
So it's like a loneliness and the anxiety of loneliness. So I decided I'm going to put myself in a place where I don't know anyone, so I can face my anxiety of loneliness. And great, it's good, I'm happy. But still, it's like, wow, that's a bit too far, Like, can I just not... say I'm anxious of being lonely, that's my anxiety, I deal with it, instead of like trying to improve myself to this level.
So you couldn't just accept that you get a bit worried about being lonely, rather than
I'm anxious about it, let's call a cat a cat,
About understanding yourself, or knowing yourself now.
Acceptance, self-acceptance.
So what's the pressure about trying to change one's actions and how the perception is like, this is me, man, this is cool?
I mean, are we too much fixed on trying to improve ourselves, trying to be better all the time, trying to be like the new improved Mikey in my case, Stacia in your case?
In my case, yes. I do think there's a cult of self-improvement, and I do think that it's a never-ending cycle, and that a lot of the offered resolutions to it are not really going to resolve anything, but are just going to open the door to more and more that one feels like they're not enough. And I do think on the topic of love, whether it's love in a romantic context or in a societal context or something larger, it seems like being understood is largely about being able to reveal your vulnerabilities. And if you're a person that tries to present yourself that you have no weaknesses or vulnerabilities, how would you know if someone really understands you or loves you? You wouldn't. You'd always be presenting sort of a false self that's holding something back. So that would be rather sad, and so I just think that this endless self-improvement is not even going to result in what people hope that it will.
Are we all trying to, go on, who was that?
That's the reality then.
just picking up on your point about the false self and thinking about that we're in Pride Month and there's Pride on Saturday, just thinking about drag queens, because they have completely created a false self in themselves, a false gender and everything, and they are completely empowered by that as well.
Yeah.
So there is something really, there's a big positive to that as well.
Transformation can also have a kind of like positive effect. It's not all just a kind of avoiding the issue.
It's looking at something in a different way. Which is fulfilling for oneself. So
no, absolutely. I was just thinking about the idea of a pianist as well, who's very shy and retiring, but then once they have a piano or a tool in front of them, a paintbrush, a camera, or whatever, they become their false self, but it's a real part of them.
I'm very, very shy when I'm outside of this Talkaoke table, but when I'm in the middle of this table, suddenly, it all comes alive for me, so I can relate to the pianist.
So many things that I was going to say. There's so many points.
Yeah.
But then I guess it depends on how you define self-improvement, because in my mind, I would understand self-improvement as working towards becoming comfortable with being more vulnerable.
Yeah, that's a kind of self-improvement in itself.
Like there's the aesthetic version of like being presenting yourself as and all that nonsense, but then there's also self-improvement that works towards being more comfortable with who you are as a human being, being
so
more able to talk.
Self-improvement is actually quite a good thing.
Well, it depends on how you define. That's the problem, isn't it?
I
it's
think
all about
you're talking about getting sucked into
everything is about definition and how you construe something
I think
that
you're
talking
about getting sucked into this cult. I must improve. Must I evolve? I think is the song that's out at the moment, which deals with this whole question. Is like, must I always be getting better and better? Welcome to hang on. Welcome to Talkaoke. We've got new faces. I've got to somehow explain what we're talking about. We have got Natasha, we have got Nick, we have got Dee, we've got Jojo, Stacia, John, Parul, Agat, Judith, and Mikey. What's your name?
Noah.
And Hong. At the moment, we're talking about this thing. We started talking about love, but then it got more interesting when we talked about self-love. And do you really love can you love others? Yeah, can you really love others if you don't love yourself properly? And then it's been this question about, is a self-love actually, John says it's a very critical love. Other people have said it's a very accepting love. But Dee has sort of said that actually there's this narrative that we've always got to improve ourselves. We've always got to actually be better and better and better, and we just get sucked into this thing like, either we have to have therapy or we have to have surgery, we have to get fitter, we have to get thinner, we have to get smarter, and we're on this kind of treadmill of self-improvement, and that's where we are right now. Is it a thing? Is it like?
Is it aesthetic?
Yeah. What? I don't know what it really means. Yeah. But anyway, you just hang in there. Just pick up the pieces of the conversation. You don't have to say anything right now.
Yeah. And also, is it distracting us from what is the real thing? About scientific discovery, environmental issues, all kinds of things like that. We've only got one planet, so basically, should we be solving those problems or should we be shaving our chests?
But I mean, is the planet? Can I just stick with the mic because I want to just join these points up. Because you're the one who said you need to love others, you need to love yourself. And earlier on we were talking about this kind of sense of the planet actually and wanting to save the planet. Is it the same thing that you need to have this self-love in order to be able to be an effective advocate or activist or whatever you want to do or help a better planetary or global situation? Do you need to actually love yourself first, or is it a distraction and a diversion from that? That's a tricky one, but...
Noah said no.
Yeah, okay.
Noah said no.
What's that? You said no?
Yes.
You don't think so? You think that self-love is a distraction?
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
I mean, are we blinded though by this kind of like this kind of therapy, or am I right, am I wrong? We need to get on with just saving the planet. Is that what's going on? Any thoughts on this side?
I think we'll get to this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, I'll pass it on. I think we live in an era of being self-obsessed in that respect, and I think it's being created by media, modern society, a lot of things, but it's all about it's all about it's me. It's about how does this affect me? How do I look? What do I have? Have I got the best boyfriend? Have I got the best house? Have I got the best hair? Have I got tits like Kim Kardashian? Whatever, you know. It's all about if people are self-obsessed.
Yeah. Apparently it's that arse, but anyway.
No, it's just. But God, did you know Kim Kardashian has got something like 170 million followers on Instagram? Madonna has got 23. I mean, it's like, whoa, Kim bloody Kardashian. Anyway, so no, what I was gonna say. But what I meant is,
we've got better tips as well. Okay, right. So
What I meant is we live in an area we're self-obsessed, and because of that, we are ignoring things that are actually really, really important, and we're self-distracting.
Okay.
you know, like the planet, like you said.
Was there a point here, Jojo? Or?
No, I was just broadly going to agree, and I just think that the cult of self-obsession is sponsored by big corporations.
Yeah.
It's to make money for them. It's to keep you occupied.
Yeah.
It's to stop you thinking about wider.
It's called a job.
Is it a job? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's what we do, rather than actually living our lives. Is we keep trying to make little mends and little fixes and little changes that are going to somehow magically make us into these better people that are somehow just going to be able to solve all of our personal problems. And I don't think that it's going to.
Stacia, do you follow Kim Kardashian on Instagram?
I do not, no. No, I do not. Yeah. Despite having lived in the same city as her for some time. No. What I was going to say is I think the instability of the job market does feed into people feeling like they need constant self-improvement. I mean, the number of job interviews or pitch meetings that I have to go on compared to what someone a generation before might have been doing at this point in their career, it's just constantly feeling judged, assessed, and one feels like you have some control if you would improve certain things. It might be a false construct, but I think there's a lot of pressure and a lot of feeling of
instability is actually driving us towards this self-obsession and distracting us from this question of the instability which exists, I guess, in our lives, in my life, in your life,
Put your hands up if you think you're self-obsessed. If you live this life of me.
Okay. No, that's nobody.
Yeah, exactly. That's
No, I think this is. I know you think everyone else is, but
not
everybody else.
Yeah. So you think?
Because I think you. That's how I live my life. You.
Yeah.
Right. I think I do. Anyway, maybe it's me. I
so
don't know.
Are you saying people are not self-obsessed, or they just don't realise they're self-obsessed?
I think maybe it's a misinterpretation.
Okay. Is it a misinterpretation? And what about this question about instability? Is that actually not the me, but this instability, this turmoil? We're always looking for another job, another house, another lover. That actually we get distracted from the bigger picture that we all agree we need to look at. What were you going to say, Judith? Were you going to say something?
I don't know. I was going to say so many things, but we've
just
moved
pick
on
one.
so much.
Just pick one.
Where do I go?
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
back to the last thought that you wanted.
Stacia was talking about instability.
I was going to say, that you were talking about. Oh God, this is so disturbing.
You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it after a while.
He's doing it to me, but
you were talking about self-love. I'm not particularly in love with myself, but I do love my people. Okay, so if someone would try and say to me like, oh, you can't really love people until you love yourself, but I would fucking walk into fire for my people. I love them so much. So I don't think it has anything to do with maybe you are better in your relationships if you actually love yourself and you're content with yourself.
But you think the love of other people just comes first?
I think you can't say that you don't love people because you don't love yourself, because no one can tell me that I don't love my mom or my friends or my partner or it's a bit ridiculous to me.
I can tell you're very passionate about those, but maybe that passion also bleeds into your own self-assessment. Parul, you're going to say something.
So I was just going back to the original point I made about 2 hours ago, which is love is love.
Yeah.
And love is love.
Yeah.
And love is love. However, if you don't love yourself, and if love doesn't come from within,
you can't recall this, right? I'm just going to say.
if you don't love yourself, and love always comes from within, how are you going to love others? And in addition,
Judith, I'm trying to listen to
Quiet.
Sorry, say.
If you don't love yourself and love comes from within, how will you love somebody else? In addition to that,
what about Noah's example here?
I forgot your example. What was your example?
Well, she was saying that she doesn't particularly love herself, but she would walk through fire for others.
Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
However, let me make my point. My point is, if you don't love yourself and love comes from within, how can you love somebody else? And that's probably where the insecurities and instabilities stem from.
So you're saying if you love yourself enough, you don't worry about whether you're going to get another job or whether you're going to pay the rent or all these things.
Okay, so today I've flown to England for a job interview, and I possibly could feel insecure about that. However, I don't feel insecure. I feel quite at one with myself, and actually I do love myself.
Oh, right.
Absolutely. Orgasmically in love with myself, because if I don't love myself and nobody else is going to love me, then how am I going to self-fulfill and self-actualize? And by being at one with myself and loving myself and orgasmically adoring myself, I think the world will just come to me.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, interesting point. Okay, so where do we want to go with this? Which side do we want to? Do we see it? Can we find a middle ground where both Noah and Perur are actually right, and we just how we look at this? How do we resolve this thing? Do we need to love ourselves first, and the love flows through us to others, or can it go indirectly or somehow out of us without flowing through us? Or are we just seeing it in the wrong way?
Isn't it two sides of the same coin?
And what do you mean by that?
If I love you, are you more likely to love me?
I think so, a little bit, tiny bit.
But if I want you to love me first, right, and you're not up for loving me first,
okay, so we've got to, in a way, it's a bit like a game of poker. We've got to put our chip down before anyone else puts their chip down.
I think if you can't, it's just like, oh God, I'm using really complex words again, which I really hate myself doing. But any other lexical map, where if you can't define love for yourself, then how can you understand loving somebody? Because you can't define that. How do you define that that's the feeling that you're
do you need to define
absolutely
that?
So if you can't label your anger towards me, how do you know you're experiencing anger towards me? You have to know what anger is as a construct in order to be able I'll stop.
Okay, so it's a question of definition, says Judith. Do we need to define love? Judith says yes. Indeed, you're
Okay, so I'm so sorry, I've forgotten your name again. So Judith just mentioned about defining love first. I'd like to perhaps spin that around to say, do you really need to define love first, or just acknowledge and accept that you are in love? And
but how can you do that if you don't know what it is?
But you need to feel it first.
It's a feeling, not a definition.
And once you feel it, then all of those feelings come from within.
Okay. Let me just come around to again.
I disagree. I thought once that I was in love, and it was lust. Now I realize that it's very easy to confuse two things. And then with hindsight, you're like, of course it wasn't love. But hindsight.
Was it love at the time, or was it just never love?
I was sure. I was so in love. But no.
Yourself?
No, not someone else.
Okay.
But it happens with myself as well.
Okay, can you have lust for yourself as well as love for yourself? Okay, where do we want to go with this conversation?
To the concept of self-love then, full circle.
I mean, you're the one who sort of said, Dee, that this is a distraction from the bigger picture. Now that you've heard what Perur's got to say, other people have talking about love and how.
All right, I'm going to say something she said. She just said this. It's not from me, but I agree wholeheartedly. Come here, you. It's not so much about loving yourself. It's about accepting yourself, and then I think loving yourself can become a bit obsessive and a bit narcissistic and a bit but accepting yourself, I think it's something that's more I don't know, will make things easier and
I think I think sometimes when we think we're loving ourselves, we're actually shutting other people out because we're so concerned with ourselves, how we look, how we dress, how we act, how we're coming off to other people. And that when you're like that, it's very, very difficult to actually connect with somebody else.
Okay, well, are we shutting ourselves off to other people when we're loving ourselves? Are we kind of closing it off to other people? Or, yeah.
In some ways, absolutely. If you look at Tinder and Grindr and all the apps out there, it's all like all on tap. And basically people are having great physical experiences with each other, but then are they actually forming ongoing relationships that are of value and families? I don't know.
Okay. Not either on either Tinder or Grindr, so I can't answer that myself. But are you forming loving relationships?
Okay. So I'm on Grindr, and oh.
Yeah. It's not much.
Okay, so horny guys just said hello to me. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Horny guy is Hello, horny guy. 621 meters away. Oh, hang on. Oh, not my type. Anyway, let me just quickly block him because not my type. Anyway, so let's just go back to self-love. Let's just.
Are you blocking off other people when you are loving yourself?
Can I just say, every Friday and Saturday evening for about 55 seconds, I love myself and it's really good. Okay. And then a Sunday morning when I'm like, is it big enough? Is it long enough? Is it hard enough? I don't know, but I still love myself for what I am. And it goes back to the point that somebody else was making, which is, I think it was Natasha saying, whether your boobs are too big, or whether you're fat, or you're thin, or you're brown, or is it long enough? Is it big enough? Is it hard enough? Whatever. This is going back to the point I was making initially, which was, let's just define love. And love is not just a sentiment. It's like a self of. It's a kind of state of.
It's a feeling. It's an energy in a way.
And can I just say, just for official fact, I really do love myself. Because if I don't, then who else is?
Yeah.
Point.
We're talking about love here. Come and get involved in this. Can we define love? Is love a feeling? That's what we're talking about right now. You're welcome to bring your perfect fried chicken here. We have got Jojo, we have got Dee, we've got Lauren, we've got Natasha, we've got Darren, we've got Hong, we've got Noah and Agat and Peru and John and Stacia. What's that?
I just did a toilet.
Well, you're probably better off going into our one at the back there on the right hand side. Anyway. I guess, yeah. I mean, maybe that wasn't an attractive enough proposition, defining love.
Well, like we were talking about self-love, and if self-love can hinder other people, and I think it's like if we are obsessed with ourselves, then it might be hard to let anybody else in, and that's what basically love is. I mean, that's what I love in English, like you fall in love, and it's like this thing of like. You hope it to be caught, basically. Like, you know, you want somebody that catches you, and that's the beauty of it. If we are so self-obsessed, then nobody is able to get in. But if we hate like yourself, then the issue is you're not going to believe anybody if they say they love you, because you're so convinced.
You can't believe it.
Because you're so convinced plausible. That you hate yourself and everybody else must too. So
Okay.
I think it's a fine line between like the self-love which enables other people to love you, and the self-love that means like you're obsessed with yourself and you're like it's tunnel vision basically.
Yeah. Okay. Darren, any views on this? Well, I mean, we're talking about, is self-love actually a conduit? I think is the best word to describe it. To love other people, is it like you're kind of like a vessel?
You have to, love is about everything, physically, mentally, emotionally. You have to love yourself. I love to appreciate your beauty, your looks, like, for example. Like,
but that doesn't get in the way with loving other people, you don't?
Like love can do with anything, It can involve, example, I love this microphone. I love beer, or I love chicken, or I love Chinese. Like love, it goes with food, drink.
It's not exclusive. It's kind of like, in a way, aggregating things. It's bringing things in. It can only expand.
You can even have your enemies show you love. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you have a fight with one person, he hates you, blah blah blah, all that. Next week he comes running to you saying, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let's love each other. Be cool with each other." That's it.
Yeah.
That's what love is really.
So love, I guess, can always grow and can always expand.
It's not even about. It's not even about growing and expanding. It's about how you deal with it.
Yeah.
You wake up every day. You're positive. You're negative.
Yeah. So you accept love.
Yeah. You have a number from 1 to 100. You like. You might not know, bro. You can love your favorite color.
What is your number from 1 to 100 today?
50.
50. Okay. 57 for you. Maybe we should just go around. What's your number for today? 1 to 100.
6. I always say 6.
6 out of 100. Okay. What?
I don't think I have a number.
You don't have a number?
Are we rating our level of
We're rating our level of kind of self-love for today, or love for...
okay.
Yeah. Or just of your day.
Okay, no, that is not
Okay, anyway, I'm going to go around. I get...
73.
73. That's okay, it's fine. It's not that important, really.
94.
94, you're on a 94, okay.
Oh, I don't think I could possibly go as high as that.
Yeah.
But no, today I discovered that something that ultimately caused me a lot of pain, but done on behalf of somebody else, was successful, and it may change that person's life indefinitely, a long time ahead of me. So I'm actually saying the good bits came first.
Yeah.
I'll give myself 80.
Okay, so you've had a good day, okay, yeah.
My overall experience today, I'm going to say this is not limited to the self-love factor, but just my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 90.
90, you're on a 90, okay, excellent.
Yeah, I started off today at about 35.
Yeah.
And I finished on about 95.
Okay, well I guess that's what coffee's for.
Having a great time. This is
okay.
amazing.
Thank you.
57 wasn't my number, was what I thought you might say, actually. But I think about 70.
Okay. Oh, hang on a sec. Give us a final thought, the both of you, before you go. Just quickly give me a number quickly so we do this.
71?
8.
8. Okay. Okay, final thought.
Of what?
Oh, anything. What are you going away thinking?
I don't know, sometimes we try and define this and understand this, and sometimes this is it just comes down to how you feel, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's just
we live in this age where we think we can understand absolutely everything, and can we really?
Okay, so just feel it and just get on with it and feel it. Okay, Noah, final thought? What are you going away thinking? Is it just a feeling? What are you going away feeling, I should say? Okay. Happy. Okay, good.
So I thought I was just picking a number. Anyway, 90.
90, okay,
absolutely.
You're going to revise that.
And it's just like, in terms of learning to love ourselves, I just meant we've just got to rock what we've got and just be happy with that.
Okay.
That's it.
I mean, to me, this is a great moment where everyone seems so happy and upbeat. I'm going to actually, I think, very soon end this, but I do need closure on this, unless someone else wants to go in the middle. And anyone's welcome to have a go.
Stressful. I can imagine. Put me right back down to 25.
You take you down to 25. But all right, let's get some final thoughts on this. Final thoughts? Anybody have anyone? Final thoughts to close?
Love yourself, but don't go overboard.
Okay.
Yes.
Natasha, final thought?
Thank you very much for a brilliant evening.
Well, thank you, and thank everybody.
Thank you, and always appreciate everything and love everything first before you have hate inside you.
Okay, so appreciation. We got to just remember to appreciate all the good things. Final thought.
Love you, Lau. I don't know what else to say.
No, I remember. I found the one thing that sticks in my mind after this evening is what you said about self-improvement is actually accepting your vulnerability. I find it hit me. I found it very interesting.
Okay.
So, love yourself first. And then love everybody around you, and then everything else will fall into place.
Okay. Start with the love, grow it out, everything falls into place.
I've been talking about love in terms of self-criticism, being honest about oneself. My only advice on that is, if that's what you do, start with the good bits. It puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, I mean, when I was at art school, we always used to have the criticism sandwich. Like, if you want to criticise the students, you always start with the good bits, and then end with a good bit as well, and then be What's that?
Sweet, sour, sweet.
Exactly.
Rice sandwich.
Yeah. Final thought.
I would say relax, accept that we all have vulnerabilities, and be compassionate about other people's weaknesses, because we all have them, and that's how we'll connect.
Okay.
Try and concentrate a little bit more on other people and a little less on yourself, I think, is probably, for me, been the
message.
Made me more happy in my life,
Yeah, love and peace to all, and be a little less self-obsessed and more open to others.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. Give yourselves all a big round of applause. Thanks for coming. You've been wonderful, lovely people. Thanks. I've really enjoyed hearing what all of you have got to say. So thanks for coming, and I will be around for a little bit, having more beers and drinks. So, and there's more watermelon as well to be chopped. So yeah, there's quite a lot more on offer. There's quite a lot, yeah. So thanks everybody.